In the last video, we tried to run the application and we added the user and also updated and deleted the user by using HTTP request. So also we have added the Codersarts and password and email, and we try to get the user by using user ID, and also we try to delete and update the user. So we have done that. So in today's video, we are going to create the login. That means whenever a user is logging in our system, it will create one unique ID. So it will use that unique ID to access the other controller. So let's start with the first. So we have email ID and password. So we are going to create one login class. So that will store the user login. So I will give login. In that we are going to take the private string email, private string password. So we are going to take that, and also we have to insert the data setter and constructor also to generate, and zero argument also, and also the getter setter. Sorry, we have to select both of them, generate, and also to string method. So after that, we have to create one current user session that will store our details. Like whenever user is try to log in, it will store that user detail with a unique ID. So we have to create that also. So let's give the current user session. So we will give as a class name as current user session. So this class will be entity class because we have to store that in our database. So we will have to do that. And we will save the first this private string email, and this email will be our ID because it will be the unique, so that is why we have to give that. Then private integer user ID, so we will also store the user ID, and also we are going to store the unique ID, so UUID, and just we have to create zero argument constructor with argument constructor and getter setters and toString also. So we have to do that. After this, so in this class, we are going to take the from user that we are taking the user email and password from login class, and we are going to create this class which will store the email, user ID, and the UUID that we have to create by using random class. So we will going to create that. So after this, we have to also create one exception. So user defined exception. I will give the user defined exception also because if user enter the wrong details, so we have to give the exception. So I will give the exception that is current user exception that will extend the exception, and we have to just give the default serial ID. If you don't want to give like yellow error, if you don't give this, it will also do the our task, and we have to pass with the zero argument constructor and with one sorry with one message with the constructor that is string message. And we have to pass that message to our super. So it will take this message and transfer to our parent class, that is exception. We have to save that. So I will just stop this. So it will updating every time. So I will just stop this. After that, we have to create repository for user class, that is current user session. So that will be interface. So I will just take the interface. I will just give session repo as a name, and I will extend to GPA repository. So it will be current user session. The class is current user session, and ID is string because we are going to use the current user session ID is string. So that is why we have to use that. And after that, we have to give as repository, and also we have to find one another that is not present in the this method in this class, because in this interface, because we have to use without ID, we have to use the user by using UUID. So we have to create that also. So I will give public optional. So that means if not found, so it will give the error. So I will just give current user. Sorry. Uh, I have the problem. Just give me a second. Current user session. Yes, session. I will give you find by UUID. In that, I will pass the string UUID, and we have to just save. So it will create one method for us. So we have to just import the optional. So it will create one method for us, that is find by UUID, and it will find the current user by using UUID. We have to do that, and we have to save that. And after that, we have to also create one method in the user report, that is optional user find by email. We have to do that. And after that, we have to just create methods that will do our task. So public, we are going to return the current user session. Login, we are going to take the login class, login, and we are going to throw exception, that is current user's exception. Because if user has entered the wrong detail, so it will just throw the exception. And then also the public current user session. Sorry, we are going to log out also. So we have to give the string logout. We will take as a string UUID throws current user session, that is exception. We have to just save this, and we have to implement these methods in the our session, and we have to just copy this, and we have to create this method. So first of all, I will check that if user is entering the correct email or password or not. So to do that, first I will call the uh, before that we have to just auto wire our private session repo, and after that I will just call the user repo dot find by email, and I will just find the correct user. So if user is present or not, that is email. If user is present, then only we are going to do that. So I will just give optional because it is returning the optional, that is user. I will give optional user I will just give if condition, that is optional user is present, then only we are going to do the other class. If not, then we will directly throw new current user session exception, that is, and we are going to pass the exception, that is email is wrong. We are going to pass that. And also here, if you optional user is present in your database, then we will going to verify the user. So just user equal to optional user dot get. So we will get the user. Then we will verify the our user password. So get password it got equals, because this is in the string, so that is why we have to use it, equals. Then we will pass the login dot, so login dot get password. Sorry. Then we are going to, if that is the case, if not, so we have to just throw the exception also, throw new current user exception in the string. So that is password is wrong. We have to pass that. And after that, if user password and login is correct, then we have to do the check. We have to also check that if, first of all, we will call the session repo and find by, we are going to find by ID. So that is login dot email. That means if email is already present in our session, so we are not giving the option to log in again. So that means the same user will not log in the our database. We have to do that. So it is a session, current user session. So current user session, optional session. I will give a variable name as optional session. If optional session dot is empty, so we have to do that, and else we will throw the exception, throw new current user exception, and we will throw the exception, that is user already present, and if not, then we are going to create one user. So for that, first of all, we have to create the random string. So we will create by using one method, so that is private. We are going to return the string, that is a random string. We are not taking the input. So first of all, we have to create one string, that is string alphabets equal to, we have to do that A, B, C, D. And also the capital one also. And also the integer, if you want to add the integer also do. And also we can also add the, what we say, characters also, special character. You can do that also, and a variable also. So this is our string. So we are going to use this string, and we are taking the randomly characters from this. So the length of the my character will be 6. So I'm going to use the 6 character. So we are going to store that in string builder, because if you try to save in the string, so it will not update because of the string pool. So that is why we have to use the string builder. new string builder. After that, we have to also use the random class. So this class will create the random variable number. So that is why we have to use that equal to new random. And after that, we have to just use the for loop. So for int I equal to 0, I less than length I plus plus. Then we have to create one random index. So index equal to random dot next index. So it will create the next index. We have to just pass alpha bits dot length. From this length, we can create the random integer. So if you, it will not create the random integer uh, that is the greater than length. So it will not create that. So that is why I have given alphabet dot length. And after that, we have to just create the string. So I will just create the what you say, add the string to the append. I will just pass the alpha bit dot char at index. So it will append every string that will create by from this string. So it will add to the our string builder, and we have to just return that is string str dot to string. So it will create our random string, store up to the length, and it will return the string. So we have to just use that string. So string. So I will just give string key equal to this dot random string. So it will create that, and we have to just create current user session class equal to session. I will give that new current user session. I will create with the argument. So I will just pass log in dot get email. Then we have user. So from that we will get user dot get password, and the key is safe. And what is the problem? I think why it is saying yes. So we have to pass here not a password. We have to pass here user ID. So that is why it is taking giving the error. And after this, we have to save this into our database. So we will go to call the use session repo dot save session, and we will just return this. So it will also return the session that will be saved into our database, and we will get the our user. And after this, we have to just remove this because we have completed all the exception and return system. So it is extra. So that is why. So after this, we have to do the logout also. So I will just first do the that is by using session repo, I will find the UUID if that is present in our database. So I will just call session repo dot find by UUID. So I will pass the UUID. It will return the optional. So optional that is current user session, that is optional session. I will give as variable name that is, and if optional session is present, so I will do the that is a logout. If not, I will throw the exception, throw new current user exception. So that is wrong UUID, and if it is present, so I will uh, delete the UUID, that is user. So first I will get the current user session. So current user session, that is session equal to optional session dot get. So it will give me the current user session, and I will just call the session repo dot delete. I will pass the session and it will delete, and we have to just return that is logout, and we will just add the email or email of that. So get email. So it will give our email with a session email that is logout with email. So it will give our message. We have to just remove this. And after this, we have to do only the controller. So that is only remaining thing. So after that, first one is public response entity, that is current. We are returning the current user session. Sorry, current user session, that is log in. We are going to pass the request body, that is login. We have to import that also. So we'll just import that also. And this method is post, so we have to do the post mapping, that is log in. So we have to do that, and we have to just call the user service dot login, and we have to pass that, and it will return the current user session. So we have to save that current user session equal to session. I will give as variable name that is, and it is going to throw the exception. So we have to throw the declaration. So it will throw the user session, and we have to just return new response entity, that is tbody, that is session with HTTP code, that is K, and for logout also. So I will just copy this. I will just paste. I will change to delete because we are logout the application. So logout. I will just change the variable name logout. So it will be path variable. So I will just change the path variable, that is string UUID, that is logout UUID. The return type is string. I will change that also string. I will give variable name as message. Same with here message, and I will just change this type as string. So we have completed all the controllers also. So just remaining is we are going to run the application. So first of all, we are going to run the application. So if you see, I'm going to run the application. First of all, it will create the current user session class, that is a table in our database. So it has created the current user session. So I will just use the user application. I will show the tables. If you see the current user session it has created, if you want to see the data, so I will just give the, if there is data in the my current user. So I will check that. If not, so if it is empty, and also for the user, I will check that if it is present or not. So it is already empty. So first of all, we have to sign up, and I'm going to use the postman to send the request. So I will first add the user into my database. So that is user add, and I'm going to use the body that is row, and the format is the JSON. So I'm going to use that. So first of all, we have to give the variable name, that is name, the entry of that what we want to enter, that is the coders, and password and email, and I'm going to send the request. So it has given the user ID, name, email, and password, and it has created the user 201. It is a that is HTTP request code, so that it will show here. That is 201 created. So I'm going to log in now. So I'm going to just removing the email name. So post, I'm just going to change to log in. So it will go into login. I'm going to give the password as coders and email as coders@gmail.com. So I will just send the request. So it has inter login into our system, that is given an email is coders@gmail.com. User ID is 1, and it has given the UUID. So it is a random generated. So I just copy that, and to log out, I will just get the user. So sorry, so I have to use the delete, and we have to pass the logout. Sorry, we didn't change the system, so we have to do that also. So current controller, where is the controller? Yes, so in that we have to pass also the, that is UUID, and here also, because it will not match with our given request. So UID, and we have to save that, and it will update our request. And after that, we have to log out, and we have to just paste our this X and yum 7 PF. So this is my UUID, and I'm going to delete the user. So I will just send the request. So it will delete our not found. So why it is not found? So I will just check my user. Select star from current user. I will just use the, yes. I think I have made the mistake. Yes. So it is a capital, I think. Yes. So that is why it is giving me error. So I will just change that to capital, and I will just send the request. Yes. So logout codersart@gmail.com. If I again send the request, it will give the exception because current user wrong UUID. So that is why it is given the exception. And if you want to give the user defined exception, you can do that. In the exception, we have to just add one to two exception classes. So it will change our user defined exception to user defined exception. So this is all about the login and logout from user. And you can also, after login, we can also give the, that is update session and delete session. We are going to add the implementation of login and logout in our system. So whenever we log in, after that only we can going to update and delete and read the user. Without that, we cannot read the or delete the user. So we are going to do that in the next video. So thank you.